How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I am very, very excited. First, let me introduce. Welcome everyone for watching Unique Dream Fight and Motivation Wednesday. This session aims to motivate our fellow loving community. So life, there's full of ups and downs in our journey, and you are not alone. I want you to remember you never alone. And we're not just talk about things, and what you can see is what you can make. So the reason we're sharing inspiration, our journey and our story and our action is because we also want you to see what is possible. Today we have Yebin with us. She is US pro ice dancer, and she's today with us share her story. She's currently living in UK Manchester, right?
Yes, yeah.
With a beautiful family. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Currently, I just have my baby next to me, just working away so she
I
sleeps.
I totally understand. This is the most beautiful moment in my life as well. And now they're so
Oh,
big, I can't do this anymore.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is so amazing that you're creating memory already with your baby since she's so small. She's doing stuff with you, and this is so precious.
Yeah, I know. I want us to soak it up for
Yeah.
her.
So
Yeah.
today you're gonna share your story, your challenge, and your call with us. Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
So I'm Yebin, and I was former U.S. figure skating competitor. And afterwards, I started coaching, and then I went on a tour for about 5 years, touring all over the world with Holiday on Ice and Willie B. Tech Productions and various productions. And yeah, so that's my gist of my career.
Yeah.
And along those roads of competitive skating, I've had you know few injuries and mental blocks and hardships and all of that. And I think that's where I, looking back, what could I have done in the past and what sort of thinking I could have done to help myself. And I think that could be quite helpful for anyone out there now. Um, so yeah, I think one of the main challenges I had is you know when you're really into that sport or whatever, or your passion for a long time, and you dedicate your time into everything all the time, you really forget why you started doing it, because it becomes a cycle over and over, in a hamster wheel in a way. And I think a big thing that I want to always remember is why I'm doing something, like what's the reason of doing something. And that is because I love it. And I think when you're in a sport for a long time, you tend to forget sometimes, because because one, you're in sort of this routine that you can't get out of. And sometimes you feel like, well, everyone has invested so much and this is just what I do. But then you forget that passion sometimes. And I think it's important to get back to the very, very seed of why you started this journey. So yeah, that's one of the
What
main takeaways.
challenge you have come across and help you to figure it out, and for you to remember again what is the purpose for you even first starting figure skating?
Yeah, so I mean, with skating, there's a lot of, I don't know, many people will know, it's a very physically aesthetic sport. So it definitely dealt with eating disorders because of the body fit that you needed to have. But when I was training at a very high level, um, there was a slight mention of, we need to get more fit. And I took it to a next level, of course, being very dedicated and, really dedicated to my sport. I just took it too much over the top. And so at the time, I was really restrictive with my eating, and that really mentally really did whew, on me. Just it, and at that point, you really lost yourself. I've really lost who I was for me to do those sort of actions. You're really not mentally clear enough to uh, perform at a high level, because your idea about food, body image, your self-worth as a person is really gone, because you're judging yourself of I felt like if I didn't perform my jumps or spins correctly, I wasn't worth anything. If I didn't eat properly, or if I ate too much, I was a pig. Like I just didn't have a real clean sense of, no, that's not right. That's not right thinking. And I think just going through that hardship, it took me how many years? I think maybe like 3 years to really recover from it all. And looking back, I can go, wow, that was really, really messed up kind of thinking in my mind. And I really had to step away from skating, stop everything, to take a moment for myself. It's like, who am I? What do I love? Why am I here? Like I really needed to reassess my life, really.
How
Yeah.
do you feel by that time? I mean, is apparently somebody told you, or you're being told that you should not eat that much in order to keep that figure.
Hmm.
Apparently somebody told you, or
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think, there's so much more awareness now how we can approach that to a skater now, or an athlete. It's about healthy nutrition, feed your body what it needs. But it's a very tricky subject as a female as well. Yeah, but it was coaching team at the time. At the time, to go, oh, you just look a little bit more. You look different than you did a couple weeks ago. That sort of comment, and it makes and I can't blame coaches at the time. It's just, what they just told me, what they saw, and it was my responsibility to deal with it, like for me to fix it in a way. But also at the same time, I wasn't given, I wasn't given the right tools to how to do it properly, nourishing my body correctly. But, and then it's just a perfect storm of obsessive behavior of, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, and just taking it to that next cliff, if you will. And it just, the balance wasn't right.
right. That's the positive effect, like push you to do better. But if you still can recall the feeling, the true feeling of yourself,
Yeah.
you still
And
remember.
oh yeah, it's not a good feeling. It didn't feel good. It doesn't bring me, it definitely brings me feelings of uh yeah, just like guilt, heaviness, that I didn't feel good about what I was doing. And I have to say, just sort of stepping aside and us reassessing who I am, closing my eyes, meditating, just enjoying the breath that I am, just kind of realizing who I was, without skating, without anything really, to really appreciate my being. You know what I mean? It's just, it was one of those. And I think it gave me some time to miss skating. And I really was like 9-year-old self again, who was like, this is why I did this. This is why I love it so much. And ever since then, I came back to the sport. That's always have been my motto. And, you know, to my pupils, students, whoever ice skating, you know, I just say, you got to do it because you love it. And, you know, always remember why you started to do it and just try to really think about that time, you know, that made you spark this interest. And now I feel so blessed to have figure skating in my life, or, you know, this passion in my life, uh, because I can't imagine what I'd be doing anything else otherwise, because I absolutely feel like this is my path and I love it.
And
Yeah.
how do you want to change your world? If you, what is your call to this experience? Because it's funny enough, these 2 weeks I'm learning something called nonviolent communication, and this feeling like punishing people, punishing ourselves in an indirect way, is sort of violence as well.
Yeah.
Violence communication to yourself. I don't know how effective it's gonna be. For my age, I'm a very famous rebellious in school. Teacher tell me to go east, I will go the west. But but then I think some people take it very positively. They still try to manage the expectation from others. But I mean, do you think it's still valid nowadays if there's a better way of dealing like motivation and
Yeah. Yeah, I
hobby
think
passion?
so. So I think with that sort of approach, um, it really is, I think, personality. I think
Mm,
some people really react well to that, but I know for myself, I never responded well to that sort of
mm,
negative encouragement. I was always more a positive. If somebody gave me a praise, I would want to prove them even more. I can do better. So I guess in some ways, I am a very positive uh, person who encourages positive actions, which I hope then fuels and fires more positive results, sort of idea. Um, I do think we should step away from negative sort of way of dealing with things with children, especially. You know, I
mm.
don't know. I don't think punishment is a good way. I don't think it's a good way. Yeah, it's a tricky one because
Not really punishing directly. If you don't land a double axel, you're gonna be like that. It's kind of like, oh, you're a little bit different from last week, right? It's kind of like make you into that state of mind, like, oh, I'm shit. Yeah, no, I take all the
yeah.
responsibility. That kind of guilt trip.
Yeah. So I did some yoga training, and I think one of the biggest takeaways from my yoga training was ahimsa, it's called, and it's about kindness to yourself. And that's a practice, actually, because people just always have, um, negative thoughts to oneself and be very judgmental to oneself. And it's just a little bit automatic in that way. And in that training program, it was all about practicing kindness to yourself. And, when things don't go your way, uh, you know, being generous to yourself, to being like, okay, it's okay. That's okay. And I think that has stuck with me since my training in my 20s. And um, I find this really, 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 really important and very, very valuable, even today, like with everything. And so if you're training and something's not going well, that you have the flexibility in your mind to go, this is okay, be kind to yourself. Don't judge yourself so harshly, because I think that just cuts you negatively down and down and down, and you can get quite depressed about things.
This is your core message, not
Yeah,
to be too harsh to yourself.
yeah, yeah,
And you do some teaching online as well about yoga and stretch.
yeah, yeah. So at the moment, I'm teaching Zoom classes off ice online. mainly because it's easy way for me to connect with so many skaters around the world, and I want to make sure that there's good training service provided to the people that who can't really get it in person. So they have the tools and the necessities needed to be a good skater, good athlete, and good resources.
Perfect. Wow, thank you so much. And what is your hope for our dancing figure skating community? What is your hope? What things you would like to see?
Yeah, I guess my hope is that it's not all about competitiveness. You know, it's not all about winning that gold medal. There's so much beauty in skating that can be discovered through the whole community. So if it was, you know, I wish there was more hope to make skating in a different realm as well. So it's not just competitiveness, but highlighting show skaters and coaches and things like that. Oh no, let's try that again. Sorry. Oh my goodness. I bet you don't miss this bit though.
Now feel better? Feel better?
Yeah.
No.
Is it okay if I have her here?
No problem at all.
Okay. Okay.
No problem at all.
Yeah.
This is real life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So my hope for my hope is that we get to celebrate all different types of skating, and you know, not to focus just on the Olympics. And I think there's so many beautiful people out there that are just beautifully sharing their talents that's never shined in the Olympic stage. But also it doesn't matter, you know, at the end of the day, if you can share your gift with everyone in a platform that you can, that's all that matters. And you know, it's all about just inspiring each other, putting a little positive light into our lives to, you know, put a smile on someone's day. I think that's quite important in our sport, and not to really focus and be upset about, you know, did we win this or not, you know. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. I would like to pop another question. I should ask you before. You said you took some time off from figure skating before because you were kind of confused, right?
Yes.
How long you took that break?
So I took some time off from about a year and a half completely. I had a different life. For the first time, I went to, you know, university, like, you know, no skating. I worked at a restaurant. I was a server at a restaurant for about a year. And there I really found who I was, because, you know, just completely taking myself away from everything I knew, I had to find another side to myself. And that was a really valuable time. And I do cherish that time. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how you think it was the moment to come back?
Simply, I missed it. I missed moving. I missed gliding on the ice. I think it's actual process of skating I missed so much. And that's the feeling I had when I was 9 years old, when I started skating. Absolute love of gliding that I just missed. And I think, you know, I tell my students, you just have to love the moment that you're doing it, process of doing it. That's all that matters in this world, because, you know, it doesn't matter what you do, a competition here or there, or what happens in performances. Like, as long as you enjoy the present moment of what you're doing, it's really all that matters.
Beautiful, beautiful. Competing is living. Oh my God, we've got so much takeaway. At least for myself, it's a very, very, very good reminder. And I wish all of you stay in touch with Yebin. She does some yoga training, stretching training as well. And I hope that her story will help you to remember when you were young, when you first loved figure skating, when you first loved dancing, that kind of simply enjoyment you have inside of you. Not only I need to be number one in this competition. Your competition is life. To live happily is your only goal. To win
Yes.
every moment, not every day, every moment.
Moments,
Yes.
yes.
So don't give that up. This is your birthright to be happy every moment.
Yes.
So don't give it up, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Don't be harsh to yourself. This is so important. We're so used to be harsh to ourselves in everything, every
Yeah.
moment, every little thing. Drop that. Drop it.
Yes.
Your life will be much more beautiful. Doesn't matter how old you, even your grandfather is still, you still can make that happen. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Yebin, and your daughter's name, Lily.
Lilia.
Lilia, thank you for being
Ooh.
here with us today, beautiful girl. Oh my God, you're so
Little
beautiful.
chubs.
Thank you so much for your time, Yebin,
Oh,
and
thank you, Samantha.
we'll definitely stay in touch.
Yeah,
Thank you.
see you soon. Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye.